Fedicon 2026, is that happening?
Oh yeah, it's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like, I hope you come. Like, I'll just say it for the record. I did ask you to do a session.
Yeah.
And I think initially you said yes, and then you said no.
Welcome, Fedi Friends, to episode 43 of Fireside Fedi. I'm your host, Ozoned. Fireside Fedi is a show about folks within the Fediverse. If you're seeing this, you are part of the Fediverse. Thank you for the cheers logo. Appreciate it. With me today is Charles Krempeaux, aka Reiver, who's everywhere on the Fediverse. Charles makes things for the Fediverse and smallnet. He has many projects, in fact. You might have heard of some. Hootsuite, Spacehost, GreatApe, CrowdBucks, and a little conference. I don't know. Did anyone hear about that? Fedicon? I think a couple of people have heard about Fedicon. I didn't have the pleasure to make it to Fedicon this year. I will next year though. But there's plenty of videos out there on all the amazing projects that folks are working on out on the Peertube. So Charles or Reiver, how would you like to be addressed? And welcome to Fireside Fedi.
Thank you for having me. Charles is fine.
Charles, all right.
Yeah.
So we always start off with the easiest question, which is, how did you get to where you're at today?
How did I get to where I'm at? Okay. So if we're talking about the Fediverse specifically, I think like
whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for what kind of got me into social media was Hootsuite. So if you're in Canada, you've probably heard of Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a social media company. It used to be the most popular Twitter app in the world. And mostly focuses on enterprise nowadays. So like IBM, the White House, other kind of large enterprises and governments use them. But that's what gave me my start. It did more than just Hootsuite, it did more than just Twitter. It also did Facebook, Google Plus, YouTube, Instagram, like pretty much everything.
Okay.
Even social networks that don't exist now. And I was one of the first 4 senior engineers there. The original engineer was Bear Kai, a good friend of mine. I don't think he gets enough credit. Like Hootsuite was built on his back. Like Ryan obviously did a lot. Ryan's the CEO. He's given a lot of credit, but Bear should be given a lot of credit. And most people don't know his name, and they should. But there was 4 of us, 4 senior ones. I was one of the first senior engineers there. And me and Bear and let's see who else, Jeremy Pierre, Bill Monkman. Actually, by the way, another person from Hootsuite that is involved in the Fediverse is Chris Troche, Atomic Poet. So
yeah.
So the reason you'll see us chatting every now and then, because we've been friends for a long time. But at Hootsuite, it was we were in the back room behind a marketing company initially, right? Like it was pretty small, and then it kind of grew. But as it grew, there was 4 people I probably got along with the most, and Chris was one of them. And I've been friends with him for quite a while. So that got me into the social media, and it gave me a perspective, from using as a regular person, from a business point of view, from an engineering point of view, from a product point of view, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And it just held my interest. And I got involved in I think the first time was 2020. So I mean, I don't have the history that say Evan has. Nobody has the history that Evan has. He's obviously been there since the beginning.
Maybe Christine.
Evan Protomo. Oh yeah, Christine also.
Yeah, maybe Christine, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think she's close, although I don't know the exact time. But I know Evan Protomo is he's been there since the beginning, right? But
right.
I have been involved in social media for quite a while.
Okay.
So anyways, I think back in 2020 is the first time I got involved, and then maybe 2022, stuff like that, I got even more involved. And Hootsuite, or sorry, not Hootsuite. Spacehost is one of the early kind of things we did. It wasn't the first hosting company on the Fediverse; it was the second. So Masterhost was the first, Spacehost was the second. And the reason we created, because we saw people like me and Chris and Masood, we saw people. So Masood is someone else that Chris and I work with. He's on the Fediverse, but he basically consumes. He doesn't post much. He posts photos sometimes on his PixelFed server, onepickaday.com/Masood. We were kind of talking, and we noticed people wanted to, um, like, they want to run Firefish, they want to run, PixelFed, they want to run other things. So we thought, okay, let's help people do
Yeah.
that. And we created Spacehost. I mean, the idea was that we would do the stuff that's not Mastodon, if it's stable. And we also ended up doing Mastodon because people asked us for it. But that was the first thing we kind of did in the Fediverse. GreatApe. GreatApe's actually existed for a while. It just wasn't called GreatApe. Is it okay if I go through the kind of history?
Yeah, no. Go for it. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. So GreatApe was called something else before, but it was being done outside the Fediverse. It goes back to an idea I had like back in the 90s. Basically, like if you run the traditional way people do like what we're doing now, like video chat,
Right.
is that you send it through a central server and then it gets broadcast to everyone, and that can be costly for people. And I had a way of doing it P2P style, except it wasn't regular P2P. It wasn't like a fully connected mesh. It was basically like a tree. So the host would send it maybe to 2 people. Those 2 people send it to 2 more, and then you get 4. Those 2 people send it each 2 more. Then you have 8. So it has log or exponential growth, but logarithmic cost, which is pretty decent. But there's about 200 edge cases that you have to worry about to make it work well. So that's basically GreatApe. So it's a way of doing kind of like what I needed a metaphor, so I ended up calling it conferences. So you go there, you do video chat. It would be like this, except if we can invite people into the video chat. And then there was 2 modes, like you can do the traditional mode like this, or you can do the P2P logarithmic mode. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, at Fedi Forum, you talked about it, and the thing that really kind of caught my idea was that it's how do you describe it? Not really a conferencing software, but more like a town hall kind of room where there's a speaker, and then you can, like, someone raise their hand, you can invite them up onto the stage and interact that way, right?
Yeah. Well, so you can use it for that, like a town hall style thing. There is a host, there is a person in control of it. The other way you can use it is like, this is what Chris and I did. We had a video podcast for a bit called All Your Bases. So, I'd be the host, he would join, and then we just chat. And then if someone wanted to get invited in, we could. But we did reaction videos. Like, we read the news, and then we just kind of like gave our reaction to it. Yeah, I mean, so, and like initially when we built that, it was like a standalone, Fediverse software. But later on, what like I thought would be better was that, make it work with other stuff. So it doesn't have its own accounts. You would use like your own Mastodon accounts or PixelFed accounts or Loops accounts or Miski or Peertube and log in. And then you would do the conversation and the chat, and then it could post video back to whatever you're using. So if you're using Peertube, it could post the video back to that. So I mean, this is kind of like a side project, right? It's not like a full-time thing. I wish I had the time to work on it full-time, but the last thing we were doing, we were trying to resolve one bug. Like there's this bug that we have that if the host gets disconnected, it kicks everyone off the stage. So I need to deal with that still. But yeah, I mean, you like, if you have a good internet connection, like that never happens. It works fine, except for that bug.
Yeah, as long yeah.
No, but I mean that bug will get fixed.
Right, and all software has some bug somewhere, right? So it's not like it's no code is perfect. Do you have examples of GreatApe?
GreatApe.social, it's live. So I mean, you could go try it out. I've ran some conversations with people, but we haven't, like I said, we haven't fixed that bug yet. But GreatApe.social is a place you can try it out. It's the flagship instance, but I mean, the idea is like anyone can go run it. The software is online, so you can download it. It's in 3 different repos. So originally, well, it was easier that way. There was one giant repo called GreatApe, and if you find that, that's the old code. So right now, what there is the front end's called Little Ape, and then so if you run it in P2P mode, that's fine. But if you don't, you use something called Gold Gorilla, which is like the kind of like what they call an SFU. Yeah, programmer names.
I have a feeling, Charles, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are a massive overachiever.
I don't know.
So how many of these projects are you actively working on in some form, like at any given time? And I don't mean like GreatApe literally has, 100 pushes today or something like that. But like, are all of these in active development that you're still doing even little bits on?
So the ones that have been having the focus right now are so it's something called Retijo and CrowdBucks. Those are the ones that get attention. So GreatApe is kind of been paused for the last month. I think the last commit was like maybe a month ago. It's just a matter of time. Like
Oh
I gotta
yeah,
make money other ways, and then
yeah, yeah,
I have kids, right? So but
yeah.
it'll come back to the forefront. That's the itch I wanted to scratch is I recently started moving my repos from GitHub to CodeBerg, and so I have like
Smart.
over 500 repos, right? So it's going to take me a while. I've got some of them. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot.
Oh my
Um,
God.
so I don't know how many I have, but like most of them are still in GitHub. I gotta like slowly move. So I was like, okay, well they have something like GitHub Pages, and they do. They have CodeBerg Pages, except it's like although CodeBerg is reliable, CodeBerg Pages is not so much, right? And they even say that. They even say that. And I thought, okay, let me try to deal with this, right? Like at first I looked at their source code and I was like, oh, they're not even developing this except for like bug fixes. And I was like, okay, well, what if I just recreated this from scratch, right? And let me make something where it's like a single user instance, right? So that's Retijo, by the way, is a play on the name Forjo, which is what the software that CodeBerg runs. So I thought, okay,
Yes, right.
I'll make this. It'll be single user. It'll connect to the API for CodeBerg, which is Forjo, which is also I think the Gitty API, and it's by default it's gonna work the same way. So you can hit, you have a special pages repo, which is where your kind of default pages with, and you can pull from other repos. And I thought, it'd be nice if I could get Markdown working too. So let me add a Markdown render so people could write in Markdown. So I did that, and then I thought, okay, like I I made it previously. I made it so my static website was on the Fediverse. Let me do that for this too, right? So I added that. So Retijo, the thing that's been kind of catching my attention the last month, um, it's a web server for static sites that are hosted on any Forjo and I believe Gitty servers too, like CodeBerg. And you just basically create repos and you either put I got something else open. I just heard the beep. Um, um,
You're
yeah, sorry.
important, man. You got a lot of people wanting to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's my latest kind of like Fediverse related. It's also kind of small nets. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Gemini before. So not the Google product, the kind of
Oh
Gemini
yeah,
Pro.
no, the alternate minimalistic web.
Yeah. So for me, like it feels weird thinking this is kind of like retro and stuff like that. Because like I was using Finger. I was using like the first time I used the web was from the terminal, right? So I'm kind of used to these things. And I thought Gemini was pretty interesting. It's not the only thing in that space, but it's something I found interesting. And I noticed that, like, I try to study it, like, to understand, like, okay, why are people using this, right?
Mhm.
And one thing I noticed is there's a segment that's attracted to Gemini that what they want is
Yes.
they like the web, but they don't like
Yep.
HTML. They want to write Markdown, right?
Yep.
Let me close that thing. That's just
Well,
making
and it's
sense.
not even that. It's from the folks that I talked to when Gemini was first being found by a lot of folks was they're like, well, this forces people to be minimalistic. We don't worry about advertisements. We don't worry about tracking. And
Yeah,
myself and one of our friends that is way smarter than I kind of pointed out like Gemini doesn't do anything that the current web can't do. People just choose not to.
yeah,
So like I never like I love the romantic idea of Gemini, but I never
yeah,
saw practical use for it.
yeah. I would say I do find uses for it. Like for example, like I used to do this like back in Twitter. I'd read stuff or I'd like maybe think about stuff and I'd write notes, right? So back before I had kids, I used to write, take quotations from something I'm reading or like maybe something occurs to me and I write it down quite a bit. And like I can see Gemini being useful for that. And it's also like kind of like what I want to do with Retijo, right? Like I want to kind of like track that. So I did find a use for it, but I mean, there were things like I want bolds, I want italics, right? Like people say it's cosmetic. I think it's punctuation, to me, anyways.
It's
So, sorry, go ahead.
it's language, it's expression. When you're reading something, yeah, you need those kinds of clues and things like that. And yeah, Gemini, it wants nothing to do with any kind of special thing like that, right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
That's a design choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, the part of my motivation for adding Markdown support for Reddit was that kind of like it's my interest in the small web, right? Like, could you create a format that's simpler than HTML? And Markdown exists. Like lots of people know what are comfortable with it. Like, and just make it so people can write Markdown files and then have the site up, and then it also works not for ActivityPub, which is nice. So yeah, have you tried any of the other kind of smallnet projects at all? Or I know Gemini is probably the big one that probably draws people in.
What I mean, name some. I've never really seen a classification of smallnet. I mean, in comparison, the Fediverse is small, but I guess technically, what are some of the smallnet type things that you refer to?
So let's see if I can remember the different names. Okay, so there's some of the smallnet is the old protocols, right? So people will bring up like Finger, FTP, Gopher, IRC, right? Like the kind of especially if it works in a terminal.
Yeah.
And then there's newer versions. So some of these, the idea is that what happens if we would create this now but modernize it, right?
Okay.
And like one way to look at Gemini is that it's a modern version of Gopher, right? So you got to keep in mind, like Gopher was made before like URLs, like the convention of the URL was kind of crazy. Like the idea of a URL, like, there was stuff very similar to URLs that existed before the URL, before that was formalized. So I mean, it was kind of like an evolutionary thing where people were kind of doing that already, and then URLs got kind of formalized. But Gopher exists before that. The format to create Gopher pages is very awkward, let's say, to kind of work with. So the person, he goes by code name, I think. I don't remember off the top of my head. But he created a format that's very much like Markdown. So it's almost a subset of Markdown, except it's added its own thing, its own other thing. He has a way of doing links, and links can't appear in text; they have to appear on lines of their own. But he created a better format that's an improvement, and he added encryption like TLS. So he just kind of added more things. And then there's Mercury, which is also comes from Gemini. It's basically Gemini without the TLS. And then someone also created Spartan. And Spartan was, I think, an attempt to kind of make an even more stripped down version of Gemini. It did lose something that I would have preferred it kept. So one thing that's nice about Gemini is it uses Unicode. So I think UTF-8 Unicode is the default kind of format. Okay. So you get like different character sets and symbols and all this other stuff.
Right.
And Spartan's like, no, screw that. We're doing ASCII. It's like yeah.
There's some problems with that though. Don't you inherently exclude majority of the world if you just do ASCII?
Yeah. And the thing is too, like a lot of people, if you were on the internet in the 90s or even the 80s, I would say BBS also, you probably didn't actually use ASCII. Like I think people have this kind of false memory that use ASCII. What they used was something like, was it code page 407 or 408? It's basically, it was ASCII plus ASCII's 128 bits, right? So it's 128 sorry, it's 100, not 128 bits, 7 bits. It's 128 characters, right? And what they did is use 256 characters and they had these other things like these symbols for making boxes and other stuff that people probably remember, these UIs in the terminal. And they also had color a lot of times. So I don't want to go back to ASCII. Like I never really used just ASCII. Yeah, I like Unicode, so I like that Gemini used that. Yeah, I mean there's some other ones too. Like someone, I don't remember the names of these right now. Someone tried to create something kind of like email, but it was like there are things I think you should modernize about email. Like it's in some ways actually like
email needs a total rewrite. It's
horrible.
It's horrible.
But and then there was another attempt to do, and I don't remember the name right now, but I remember talking about it I think a couple of years ago, quite a bit. But there was another one that tried to do something kind of Gemini-like also, but it removed even more stuff. Like Gemini has I think a content type where you can say what type your document is, where this one didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there was even more removed, but I find it very, very interesting. I might I've had an idea to kind of modernize Finger at one point, because there's a lot of things like I like about Finger, right? So that might happen. I had a joke where if I ever modernize, I'm going to call it Fist, because it's Finger and Fist. So that might become a thing.
I mean, you have thinking of along terms of that. That's very common, right? Because you have the dig command, and then there's actually drill.
I didn't know that one.
Oh yeah. Drill's not really. Pretty much no one uses drill, but yeah, drill is a thing, and it was meant to be, like a heavyweight dig essentially. But no, so I've used. I mean, I guess IRC. Up until a couple years ago, I used IRC. Hell, it still works out there.
Oh, wow.
Usenet, does that count? For totally,
I was a fan of Usenet for quite a while.
For totally legal and legitimate reasons, I swear.
I think my first post on the internet was on Usenet. It was I think it was computer graphics. Like back then, like math was more. So I have a formal computer science and math background. And math was much more fresh in my head. So someone asked him math questions on a computer graphics course. So it was like, oh yeah, you just take the matrix, take the transpose, blah blah blah. Like I told them to, do the determinant of this, right? And then you could solve for this, right? If you ask me that question now, I'd have no idea. Like it's been decades since I've done that kind of math. But
yet you remembered that ASCII's 128 code points. Like
yeah.
I don't say this lightly. I feel. I saw a meme earlier this week on Lemmy, I was actually on PyFed, but Lemmy, Threadiverse, whatever, that said, I'm not smart enough for this many people to be dumber than me. And one of the things that I love about talking with folks like you is, I'm very humbled by the intelligence and the brilliance that's out there on the Fediverse. Like this is amazing shit, but please keep going. This is incredible. I love this.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. We were talking about ASCII. What were we finger and fist.
Oh yeah. I was going to create Fist. So I mean, that might happen at some point. Like I did implement. I mean, it's not hard. I implemented Finger from scratch. But by the way, if you ever
Wait. I always love
it. You shouldn't be impressed. It's trivial. It's so trivial to do it.
I love. So one of the first things. So I was in support at Red Hat, and you would always hear that from senior engineers whenever you'd ask a question. Oh, this isn't hard. This is easy. And then I came to learn that anyone says that something's not hard or something is easy, it's because they know how to do it already. That's why. It's impossible until you learn it. But once you learn it, it becomes monumentally easier, right? But like,
so I should qualify with it. If you know how to do network programming, it's easy. Yeah.
If you know how to do network networking itself is black magic, let alone the programming of it. But yeah.
So it's Anyways, side issue.
Well, let's talk about. You want to talk about CrowdBucks first or Fedicon?
Let's talk about Fedicon. That happened recently.
Okay, you want to talk about Fedicon first? All right.
Yeah,
so, I'm first off, Fedicon 2026, is that happening?
Oh yeah, it's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like I hope you come. Like I'll just say it for the record. I did ask you to do a session.
Yeah.
And I think initially you said yes, and then you said no.
For full transparency, I absolutely wanted to do this. I said yes because I was just so excited. And then I realized our family vacation was literally that week. Yeah. And like I went to my wife really disappointed, and she's like, well, let's see. I was like, wait, we're going to be driving to Maine. She's like, well, let's see where it's at. Let's see how much plane tickets are. Maybe we could go for the weekend and then fly to Maine. And it's like, it's in Vancouver all the way across the continent. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, that's probably not going to work. She's like, are they having one next year? And I said, yeah. She's like, well, we're all going to that then. Yeah. And I'm just like, my wife was amazing, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed Fedicon quite a bit. It was nice. It's the first conference I organized, but I organized for 10 years. So
Okay.
I organized meetups for quite a bit, and like so back in the day, this was actually in Hootsuite where it kind of like all started. So a friend of mine started taking me to meetups, right? So I'd been to conferences before.
Hmm.
He took me to some meetups, and I was like, man, this is like a little conference. This is awesome. And I started going to meetups a lot. Like I think I went to maybe 9 or 10 meetups per week, right? So like I'm obviously going to more than one a day to do that.
Again, before you had kids.
Oh yeah, way before I had kids. It would not happen like
Damn
post
kids.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at one point I was like, I might as well like organize my own because there's some things I want to like talk about and like discuss and stuff like that. And I organized some really big ones. I organized some small ones. So the biggest one I organized. So this is got rebranded a bunch of times, but like machine learning, data science. Like back in the day, it was also
Okay.
called big data. Now it would be called AI.
AI.
Um,
Everyone's calling everything AI. Yeah.
yeah. Everything's got that name. But I organized. It was actually a set of meetups about that for about 10 years. So it was the largest, let's say, machine learning AI data science community in Western Canada. We would
Oh
fill
wow.
rooms, right? Yeah. So a talk it would bring in like 250 people with people waiting outside. Um,
Wow.
and I also did small ones, like the ones I did on human behavior. I mean, sometimes it was like three of us, right? Like it was pretty small, and everything in between. So I did that for 10 years, and like I stopped during my wife's like pregnancy with our first child, and then I just didn't do it for a while. And my kids are a little older now, so I thought, okay, I think I might have time to do this. Now, I will say that there are some differences between the two, right? So, for example, organizing with one speaker is a little easier, I would say, than like, what would we have, like 12,
A
13 speakers?
dozen. Yeah. You had at least a
Yeah,
dozen,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, what I would do is I would talk to the speaker. I'd say, okay, get your notes done or your slides done, and then we'll kind of go over it, and then I'll schedule it. Right. With this thing, I can't do that. It's like, hey, this is the date. Please have it ready. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot more to get done. Like one thing actually happened with this conference. So maybe I think other people didn't know. So the last week, maybe week and a half, like it was hectic for me. Like there was so much stuff I had to do because there were people that definitely helped me, right? But there was a lot of things I had to do on my own. And for example, the recording almost didn't happen. Like I had scheduled this like many months ahead of time, and then I think it was like a week before we were going to do the conference. All of a sudden, it's like, so you're all done, right? I was like, oh, what about the person recording? It's like, what? I was like, what do you mean, what? Like, we're gonna have cameras. I need microphones,
Yeah.
like chairs in the front. Like it's in the emails, right? So they kind of forgot, right? So I was scrambling. I got the phone number of the company that they work with, right? So I like a week beforehand, I was swamped with stuff trying to get ready. Like, I mean,
Oh
it
yeah. I
came
believe it.
together. It came together, but like there was a lot I had to do.
Well, and
Um,
it's I've never put on a conference before. I've never even put on
yeah,
a meetup before. I've gone to meetups and talked to people, but I imagine a conference is like, let's say you had a dozen. It's setting up a wedding for a dozen people over a couple of days, and you don't really know any of the couples. You don't know what their expectations are. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what they're going to do. You're just like, can you please show up at this time? But
yeah,
it's from what I've heard, setting up a conference is insane. Like the general idea of it is great, but then all the tiny little details
yeah.
take up 99% of the time.
Yeah, and there was things I think I could have done better. Like for example, I wasn't able to flag people. Like, hey, you're halfway through your time, 10 minutes before your time, right? Like I
Oh
didn't have
yeah.
flags. I wasn't. I didn't. It's just something I couldn't get to. It wasn't like the high priority things was like recording it, for example, and having
Hey,
people show
oh
up.
yeah.
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 So like, there's definitely places I can do better. I think like for the next year's one, I need to reach out to people to help more. There were people help. Like for example, like Chrissy, she helped quite a bit, right? So she was helping me. She helped promote it. There were I can't remember Chrissy's last name, or I'd say it's something. I think it's Japanese. I can't pronounce it. Sorry, Chrissy. Chrissy, I'm very sorry. She's on the Fediverse.
Yeah.
But
Chrissy, hit us up so that we can make sure that we give you props
yeah,
because
yeah. And then there was also Sal Rahman. So he also promoted it. I've known Sal for more than a decade. And then also Anuj from a new social. See, he organized one of the after parties. There was actually two after parties because it was a 2-day conference, and so Nuge organized one of them, which is fantastic because it was just like one less thing I had to do. And then there was so a lot of the speakers were from something called Co-Social, which is a co-op that has their own Mastodon server.
Yeah.
And they like I just saw this post about, hey, we're having a Fedicon after party. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to just tell the world, so I started pumping the thing, right? Yeah, because the news was ready for like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of people. Like they were not ready, and I just started pumping the thing, and it just got full. And they're like, yeah, you weren't supposed to tell anyone. I was like, really? Like I didn't know that. I went and like deleted or removed links to it and stuff like that.
That's great. You're the guy. It's like, hey buddy, my parents are away for the weekend. We're having just a little get together, and you're like, party, get the kegs.
Pretty much. It was at this one restaurant in downtown that actually I used to go to. I had an office near that I used to go to, so I like the location quite a bit. But we basically took over the basement of this one place, so it was pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think Boris Mann is the one who organized. Although I think Don was involved too. Don, I'm sorry, I don't remember your last. Don Walker, that's the last name. I should have written down everyone's last name so I would know them.
Yep.
Sorry,
at least
Chrissy.
that way you would have. I mean, that's actually a good idea because you'd have contacts for next year, right? And at least that way you could get some. How many? So you can't tell from the videos. I watched a significant amount of the videos, and it I was disappointed I couldn't come. I feel for very good reasons, aka my family, but the amount of amazing people that are just taking the technologies that we have and iterating on them. Like I loved Julian Lamb's talk on NodeBB.
His is funny too, like the intro.
Yeah. Or Ben. Like I was gonna
Did you see the Ben post? Did you see his post?
Yeah. That's and someone did a little gif of him like dancing back and forth.
That was me.
Oh, did you do that? Okay.
Yeah.
All I remember is that someone, that was great. And one of the things that I couldn't tell, and it gave me a lot of hope. And one of these things with the Fediverse, and I don't know if it's just me, but in software in general, like there's a big announcement of something, you get really excited, and then you go into a lull period where everyone's working on their different things, and then there's a big announcement, you get really excited again, and watching those gave me a lot of excitement and a lot of hope.
Yeah.
And they were really well done. So great job on that. Like from a casual viewer of the videos, it seemed like everything went without a hitch. Yeah. How many people were at Fedicon? You can't obviously tell from the videos.
Yeah, I can tell you. So we issued, I think it was something like 120, 140 tickets. I don't think all the people showed up, right? And the thing is, like, I priced the conference very low. I wanted people to come.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was actually worried nobody would show up. I thought it would be like just me and the speakers, and we'd be the audience, right?
It's Wayne's World.
So I think I put the tickets at like $15 or something like that. And I allow people to lower it down to $2 if they wanted. Wow. Some people actually raised it. They went up to 50. One person went up to 100. It also meant that I paid for a lot of the conference out of pocket. I just my donation to the Fediverse. I thought some people wouldn't come because the ticket price was so inexpensive. Like if you pay $100 for a ticket or $1,000 for a ticket, you're probably gonna show up. You pay 15, it's like I don't feel like it, right? So I can tell you, like each day, like there was a Friday and Saturday, there were about 50 people that showed up, but it wasn't the same 50, right? So there was a group that showed up. So I would guess, like if you combine both the days, there was about probably 80 people that showed up to the conference.
Okay.
Like it wasn't the same 50 each day. Like so it was 50, and then because I knew a bunch of them that were there, and then they weren't there on the Saturday. They were there on the Friday. They weren't on the Saturday, and I know people who were on the Saturday who weren't on the Friday, right? So I think about 80 people showed up actually, and we didn't take attendance. I mean, like people could have showed up.
Yeah.
Same thing with my meetups, right? I never actually like kind of track. I hear one of my kids screaming. I never kind of like track it. So like I remember like people before, like to my meetups when I had them, like are you going to check for like attendance and like RSVPing? I was like, let me tell you, let me
Yeah.
tell you a secret. We don't check people at the door. So if you come in, no one will know.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like it's
Yeah,
with like Fedi Forum, talk about like it's okay to come and go, right? We always feel so
yeah,
awkward arriving late to a speech or having to slip out the door. Like it's okay, you're human. You got
yeah,
other stuff, right? Like the fact that you showed up or the fact that you donated to something like this is still valuable. And I mean, for a conference that just started on a social media platform that's attempting to usurp the biggest tech companies in the world, I think
yeah,
150 people is really good.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I was quite happy with it. I thought it was successful.
Yeah.
We had great talks. I mean, they all need to get a lot of credit for the talks they gave.
Yeah.
I will say, like, there was technical difficulties with some of them that I didn't put in the video. I think, for example, like Dawn Walker had, I think she had about 20 minutes of difficulty of getting her computer set up. Like, so
It's,
she
yeah.
she brought a Linux up. So I've been using Linux since 1996, and it's old enough that I pronounce it Linux, not Linux. When there was that whole debate, when there was a whole debate going on about how to pronounce it, right? I'm sticking
Yeah.
with Linux.
But
Um,
it's Linus Torvalds, so shouldn't it be Linux?
but no one ever heard that in North America. Remember, like, so I mean, there
That's
wasn't
yeah,
YouTube,
that's
right?
true.
So it was
Yeah.
like this. Let me see how he spells it: Linus, Linus. So it's Linux, right?
Yeah.
And then I heard later, like, someone recorded it and they put, I think, a WAV file on the internet of him pronouncing it. I'm like, okay, screw it. I'm not changing how to pronounce it. Like, to me, it's Linux.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I've tried to tell people like language is a social construct. It evolves over time. It is what you want to
yeah,
make it. So it always drives me
yeah,
nuts when, when someone says a word and they're like, what are you saying? Are you trying to say this word? It's like, oh my God, you
yeah,
don't know how to pronounce things. It's like, so that person read it. It's okay. We don't have to jump
yeah.
down to everyone's like, I mean, Linux is wrong, but you're right. You have your opinion. You're allowed to be wrong about some things. So
Thank you.
no, yeah, you're welcome. You have my
Yeah,
permission. No, I mean, I use Linux as well, but no,
yeah,
it's you're expecting to have those kinds of difficulties when you're going to a place you don't know, you're trying to hook up things and Windows, Mac, like I think all of us that have done anything in technology, we've all been there for that. Well, did you try and
yeah,
turn it off and on again? Did you try resetting the monitors? Did you try
yeah,
this? Did you try that? And yeah,
yeah,
it's par for the course, right?
yeah, yeah.
What was your favorite presentation though?
Oh,
Are you allowed
so
to say?
there's only one way I can answer this without offending anyone.
Yeah,
There's only
all
one
of
way,
them.
my own. That's it. That's the only answer. That's the only answer I can give. That's not gonna, like. I will say this. I will say this. There was there was informational highlights, and then there was entertainment highlights. I'm gonna point out the
Yeah.
entertainment highlights. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there was two parts I thought were really funny. So one of them was Julian's, like his
Mm-hmm.
part, like in the beginning. That was pretty funny. And then, so the thing is, there's one video I haven't put out yet, just because I got swamped the last month. Chris Chautre's talk, or his panel, is not
Oh.
online yet. He's also funny, right?
Okay.
And so those two, I would say, they're entertainment highlights. And I will leave it at that, because any other way, and I'm gonna upset people, and I don't want to do that.
No. Yeah. All right. That's fair. I always like to ask those questions just to see the response, but it's usually I can't pick my favorite child. It's like we all know you have a favorite child, but
I do not
yeah.
have a favorite child. I love you both, kids.
I mean, I have two children, and when they're older, they're gonna watch this and be like, "Wait, Dad, do you have a favorite one? Who is it?"
Yeah,
Can't tell you.
do.
It
I don't.
depends. It depends on the moment. I'll say.
It depends who's screaming at you at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I love you both, but sometimes I love one more than the other. Can I say I'm that kind of
Yeah,
selfish person? I guess I don't know.
yeah.
No.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been your child's favorite parent?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, there was a period when they were both young that I was the favorite parent of both of them. Like,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah.
maybe, I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 months, and then no more. right?
Oh yeah.
The thing is, it
Oh,
was nice to be the favorite parent for a while.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's also, it can get really annoying because like my wife would tell me at some points like, he just wants to cuddle with me all the time, and I'm just really touched out, and I'm like, I would love it if he cuddles with me. And then there's that week where he just wants to cuddle with me, and by the end of the week he's like, all right, dude, just give me some space, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's such a double-edged sword because you love it, and also it's like, okay, I need me time. I need my space.
Yeah. Yeah. I yeah. I will say, like, for me at least, like, having kids is one of the best things I ever did in my life.
Oh,
Um,
easily.
I mean, you're a parent, so you would know this. Like, it's hard in
Yeah.
the beginning, right? Like, first 2 days, no sleep whatsoever, and
Yeah.
then like first 2 weeks is like a little sleep, but not much because the kid's feeding every hour, and then it slowly gets easier until they can sleep through the night, and it's like, oh, that's better, right? And then like over
Yeah.
time, it just gets easier and easier, and you get to enjoy like being a parent and having kids until they become
Yeah.
a teenager, and then it's hard again, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I don't have teenagers. Mine are 8 and 5.
Yeah,
Actually right upstairs, hopefully sleeping right now. But
yeah,
it's the thing that I tell folks is we never get to experience something for the first time
yeah,
again. Like that's it.
yeah,
It's done. But with my kids, I get to experience them experiencing things for the first time, and it's magical, man. It
yeah.
is. It's just,
You can even see yourself in your kids at times and other
yeah.
relatives. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's for me, and I'm not one of those people that is like everyone should have kids. No. We have enough kids in the world that are not taken care of, that are not wanted, or that someone just can't take care of them.
yeah,
Kids are for those that are, want kids and are interested
yeah,
in kids and are ready.
yeah.
That's the big one. Don't
Uh, uh,
rush in
uh,
to have kids.
although I will say, like, I've heard people say, like, I'm not ready. What I noticed, and then I heard someone else say it too. They said it before I expressed it, but I didn't notice it before. It's like I changed when I have kids. So like
Oh
I
yeah.
suspect that, like, I didn't, like, I became ready by having kids, and my son just found me. Sorry.
No, no, you're fine. You're
Yeah,
fine. Don't worry.
but it was basically like one, oh, they both found me. You don't see this because it's off camera, but my daughter's dressed as Elsa, and my son's trying to see who I'm talking to. Um,
That's no problem at all.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think, like, I became
Guest
ready by
speakers.
having kids. Like, I don't even feel like the same person. Like,
Yeah.
I see photos of myself before I had kids. I look at videos, like, even when I was married, and it's like, who is that person? Like, what I see in the
Yeah.
eyes is not like the me now, right? Of course, like, I looked better because I wasn't as fat, right? Like one thing that happened is I lost my muscle because I was like a pretty in shape guy, right? I lost the muscle and I put on weight, right? And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I mean, that guy's better looking. But when I look in the eyes, it's like it doesn't seem like me, right? I don't see the same person.
Well,
Um,
no, and it's so, I mean, I've actually gotten into the best shape of my life for my family.
yeah,
Um,
you
someone's
hear that?
growling. Are you
Yeah,
sure? Are you sure they're
I'm
kids
not.
and not zombies?
I'm gonna mute while you're talking. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I've actually,
Best
it's,
shape in your life.
yeah, it's pushed me to want to be better for them. And like my one kid, my oldest, and it's amazing to see like the basic thing. We consider them basic things, right? But again, they're experiencing them for the first time. They don't understand what we have had decades to comprehend and grab. And my oldest at one point, he's like, "What is love?" And it's like, wow, man, that's a hard one. And the best I could come up with, because I thought of them, right? Love is knowing there was a time when someone didn't exist, but not being able to ever once again feel that they're not there. Like, I know that my kids 8 years ago, my oldest son, he wasn't around, but I can't ever go without feeling that love that I have for him. Like it's kids are such an amazing and humbling thing if you have the time and energy for them. And I agree that you're never, even when you think you're ready, you're not ready.
Yeah.
But it makes you ready. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And but being humble is part of it so that they can see it, right? Like my parents' generation, they worked all the time. I was a latchkey kid. I didn't really get hugs. I told my wife at one point, like, hugging people was just saying goodbye. It wasn't a form of like an emotional thing. And parents, they don't say please and thank you. It's just like, go do this. Or you don't really say sorry. That's just how it is. They're the adult. They know the best. And it's like, no, I'm raising my kids to know that I don't know everything. I make mistakes because that's the only way they're going to realize it's okay to not know everything and it's okay to make mistakes. But I've told people before that like, it is the most difficult thing in your life, because imagine the worst day of your life and then understanding that you still have a small little human that is wholly dependent on you to still love them and take care of them and not reflect that back onto them. Like it's hard, and it is greatest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
My kids are incredible.
The success thing, failure thing. I heard someone articulate this once in a way that I thought was pretty good. What I heard was the successful person has failed more times than the failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like failure is just a way of learning. Like you try stuff, it didn't work. You try stuff, it didn't work. You have to keep on trying and trying to figure out how to do it successfully. And then once you do that, just practice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's tenacity. And I feel like there's too many times where we just give up because it's too hard, or I'm not gifted enough, or like I constantly have those conversations with my kids whenever we watch, like science or engineering YouTubers. The ones that we pick are the ones that are like, okay, we built this and it blew up. So then we built it again and it blew up a little bit less. And then we built it again, right? And you keep iterating. You don't just jump from, walking to jumping on the moon. Like it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of people a lot of times to discuss things and go over things, and that's okay. No one knows everything, and that's okay.
I was trying to find Chrissy's last name. I still can't find it.
Do you want to talk about CrowdBucks then?
Yeah, let's talk about CrowdBucks. Oh, is the search going to work? Oh, damn, I still can't find her name. Okay, so I will figure it out. Okay, so CrowdBucks. So when I was, so remember, like I did Hootsuite with a bunch of friends, and so I have a lot of like kind of experience from social media from a lot of different perspectives, right? And
a lot.
I've also been on the internet for a while, so like since the 90s. And like, I mean, if you've been there for a while, I mean, I think you've been there too. Like you've seen things go up and down, up and down, up and down. Like people look at AI and they look at crypto and they think, oh, like it tracks all these scams and stuff like that. It's like, I'm old enough to remember when the web attracted all the scams, right? I'm old enough to remember when open source and Linux attract all the scams. Like look up the company VA Linux, right? Like it was like, back in the day, if you slapped Linux on the side of anything, the valuation would go up 40-fold.
Well, and that's and misunderstanding. Like I remember when it came out that the NSA was saying had everyone on if you use Linux, you are a subversive. And now, like, what was it? Just the other day, there was a post on Wikipedia that basically said that the Fediverse is just full of toxic people. And then someone pointed out, well, that's a very old. That's a very old study because one, it's on Cabin, and two, it looked at a server that was known to be just pure toxicity.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry, my kids.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
They just want to play here. Okay,
it's adorable.
So I've been on the internet for a while. I've seen like
Yeah,
kind of what works, that what doesn't. I had a lot of experience with social media, and in the beginning, like I mean, the thing is, I'm not the only one that realized this, because when I talked to Ben, I realized, like, for example, he's discovered the same stuff. Other people discover the same stuff. But if you think about it for a bit, and you have kind of like this tech experience and internet experience, you'll realize, okay, how do you keep this going, right? How do you keep the
Yes.
Fediverse exist? Because right now it's
Yeah.
basically running off love, and it's running off indirect or direct funds just from people choosing to spend the money, right? You have a server, I pay money for it out of my own kids. Shh. I pay money for it out of my own pockets, and
Charity.
it exists, right?
Yeah.
And like think like Fedicon. Like I paid quite a bit of money to have that happen, right? Because I charged $15 for it, right? Or think like I mean, Mastodon.social, I think, has gotten money from a high net worth individual that pays for it. So this is what I've heard, right?
Okay.
Someone like, he's internet famous. So I mean, I'm not going to say, because I don't know if it's public
No,
knowledge.
no. Yeah, I haven't heard
Yes.
this one, but no, you're fine.
But basically, this is what I've heard, right? Like, so Andy Piper, if you're listening, or Legion, like, I'm sorry if I've said this wrong. I will correct it.
He's coming after you.
Yeah, but what I heard was that there was someone that gave them quite a bit of money. And I think that's fantastic, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
it's like, I mean, this only lasts so long. Like, think like the BBS days, like kind of pre-internet. I mean, people give the history of the internet, go back to ARPANET, but I think it's partly a lie. For users, it was really BBS, right?
Right.
And like these phone lines, these servers were existing because of just individuals choosing to do it. But like I was doing open source development before it was called open source. I remember, like, I'd work on stuff, and then life got busy. I had to get a job. You maybe you're dating someone, get a significant other, and it's like you just kind of stop, right? And
priorities change.
Yeah. So unless you can find ways to kind of fund this, it may not last, right? So CrowdBucks came partly out of that, right? I mean, there's a larger vision in dealing with payments on, like, the Fediverse in general, but it was like, okay, how can we support sysops running servers? How can we support open source developers? How can we support, like, all the other people that make the like moderators and all that? Like, how do you support all the people that make the Fediverse exist that regular people probably don't even know are there, right? So the idea was that, okay, we're going to create this thing. It's open source. Anyone can run their own, right? So it's not like it's a single company. Like Patreon's the big one a lot of people talk about. It's like Patreon has suspended people, right? But it's like, you can have the software. You can run your own instance if you want. You can collect payments. It's Fediverse native, so you can log in with your Mastodon accounts, your PixelFed account, your Loops, your Whiskey, your we haven't had no BB yet, but, like, sorry, Julian. Eventually. Like, I mean, like, what we really need is a common way to log in across all Fediverse stuff.
Yes.
So I don't have to like Miski has its own version of OAuth. Like, so we have to, like, implement like that from itself. Yeah.
No, I thought there was just OAuth. I didn't even know there was your own version of OAuth. I thought it was a standard.
So Miski flavored OAuth. They also have their own version of Markdown. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, that's the idea behind CrowdBucks. Larger though, like, I would like to bring payments to the Fediverse. So I will say, like, I have a background of stuff. I created the first neobank in Canada. It's called Coho. So I was the founding CTO there. It still exists. I think about 5% or 10% of all Canadians use it. It was very interesting to do, right? So I never created a bank before. Let's say neobank, I should say, like, because technically for a bank you need a banking license, so a neobank. Right. So it does what a regular person would expect from the bank. Your paycheck can go in there, you get a credit card to spend money, et cetera, et cetera. I never built one like that. I didn't know how they work, so I had to figure out how they worked and then build it from scratch. So it's very interesting to do. I also have dealt with compliance. So there's two main companies in Canada that if you want to do, like, AML, PEP, KYC, and all that, know your customer, you go to. So one of them is Trulioo and one of them is something else. So I was the original head of engineering at Trulioo. So I have a background in both. I know how those work. So I mean, like when I say, like, for example, I want to bring payments to the Fediverse, I know what to do. It's just a matter of like finding time. So CrowdBucks is the first effort to do that, but I like me and like others like ensued. We have, like, a larger vision of kind of what to build. So I want to make it so, for example, like, I can send money to, like, say you on the Fediverse. So you have a Fediverse ID or address, right? I can send money to you. And I've been looking at different things. So I've been with the W3C, they're also looking at bringing, like, payments to the web, and they have the open payments.dev kind of protocol, and then there's Interledger that's involved with them. So I've been looking at working with them. There's also something called Taler. So
Yeah.
I've been looking at like collaborating with like different projects to kind of get that done because you know like for me building something from scratch is fun, right? But like my goal is not just to like have fun building a protocol that nobody will use. My goal is to build something that's kind of like makes the world a little less worse, if not a little better.
Okay.
And I think you can sometimes do that with collaborating with others. Like for example, like think the Fediverse, right? Like I decided to join the Fediverse and work on that because there's other people there. It has momentum, right? And I want to. I like I said, like for me, my I guess you could say like life ethos or something is I want to make the world a little less worse, if not a little better, if I can.
Yeah.
And yeah, not just like I want to make my thing and put my stamp on. It's like no, I mean, none of us are here forever. You have a limited time, so let me try to
Right.
positive impact the world.
Well, and that's yeah, I said it at Fedi Friends. It's like no offense
Yeah,
to anyone that's working on this right now. It's like I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for the next generation because let's be
yeah.
honest, I'm gonna be 45. I'm not super
Your baby,
old, but
your baby,
you're
your baby.
right. But I'm not really exactly young. And with the
Yeah,
time you have left, you want to leave it a little bit better than where it's at. And where obviously you can't go out and save the entire world. You need to pick and choose. And it's like, well, let's help in this sphere that we're in. Right. And
yep,
that's what you just want to
yep,
do. You just want to make it a little
yep.
bit better, even if it's a tiny corner of the internet, even if it's, something that what was the last 20 million people or whatever around the world use, like those 20 million people matter. Where
Yeah.
does so CrowdBucks stands in the place of something like PayPal, you said?
Well,
So
more, I would say more like Patreon, like the way it is right now.
Patreon. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can do it for like PayPal-ish like stuff. Like right now, the way we built it to work with Stripe. Um,
Okay.
and so it works with Stripe because it was easy. I mean, Stripe did something very well.
Yes.
They
Right.
made stuff
Oh,
like really easy. Like I don't know if you've ever dealt with banks before. Like I have, but like they're
right.
nasty to work with, and they're hard to work with, and you need permission and money and all this stuff. And Stripe made it easy, right? So I mean, they there's a reason they're successful.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to have it dependent on one thing, right? Like because I think
Yeah.
that's risky, right? So there's someone that I need to email the guy back, but there's someone that emailed us that like was offering to kind of I don't know if he's from the company or something like that, but like help get it set up with another payment provider. But then
Right.
I want to integrate with Interledger and Taler and all that. And I like the ideal would be decentralized payments. Um, but like my goal is just to like don't like give people options, right? Like here's
Yes.
CrowdBucks. It's an option. You can choose to use it. You can choose not to use it. Hopefully other people create stuff like it. Um, and let's create something that is Fediverse native, right? That allows people to send payments. So for example, like the ideal goal eventually is that although CrowdBucks does do this to a degree, that I can just send money to your ID, right?
Okay. Yeah, and that's so I can't remember what is Ben's emissary, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're thinking more on the lines of like direct payments to creators.
Long term, yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
also I'm going to focus on commerce eventually. So once CrowdBucks is a certain stage, I want to look at think like Etsy or what's the other one?
Okay.
Etsy or eBay. Hey kids, can you stop singing, please?
This, no, the
Um,
singing's great. We love it. What is she
yeah.
singing?
Oh, you don't see this, but she is dressed up so my
Also,
daughter's
yeah.
birthday is at the end of the month, but we
Oh,
had a
happy
birthday party
birthday.
for her. Yeah, he said happy birthday, sweetie. Um, we had a birthday party just while, so she got tons of gifts. She already had an Elsa dress, but she has another one, and she's wearing it. She also got like the Elsa fake kind of like the long hair she
Have
has. Like, yeah,
Have you
like
seen Frozen 2?
no, I'm
Okay.
sure I will.
Frozen, I can't. My niece, when I was in near the family, whenever the kids would have birthdays, we didn't buy them stuff. We would take them for the weekend and say we can do whatever you want. And my niece just wanted to watch Frozen 100 times, and I don't. Sorry, I hate Frozen. I think it has terrible morals in it. The story is just like, yes, the parents lock the kid away for, and just like, oh my God, I hate this. Frozen 2 though is actually really good. But sorry.
Yeah, my mother bought my daughter like this Frozen doll, and if you press a button on it, it starts singing. And I've heard that song so many times now. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't stop.
So if you could, like, how do you envision in the future when you would call CrowdBucks complete? What does it look like? What does it do? What all does it connect into?
Yeah. So CrowdBucks is not going to be like the total vision, right? It's just a piece of it. So the idea for CrowdBucks is, so it focuses on one like kind of like narrow problem. How can I, have people subscribe to me or give me one-time donations, right?
Yes.
Eventually, like I studied a bit. Like I usually like I got an engineering background, but I also have like a product background. So I study like how do people interact with this, right?
Yeah.
So like okay, let's say for example, like someone's donating to you. A lot of people seem to like getting like being treated specially. Like for example, like maybe there's a little icon next to your name on think like Gitty or sorry Codeberg.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I pay for like I pay to support Codeberg, I should get like a little icon next to my name, and maybe I get special emojis, right? And like other stuff, and like people love that. Right? I think
Twitch, if you ever watch Twitch, I love to watch video games, see new video games and stuff. People love, first off, Twitch did an amazing job of bringing the barrier to entry to give someone money very low. Click a button, put your information in, and you're done, right? But then there are rewards, and like I'm always like, I don't care about the badge. Like to me, that's not a big deal. But for a lot of people, having a badge saying I'm supporting this person, or having like special emotes saying that I'm supporting them, like that matters to a lot of people. There's a reason why, loot boxes with different skins are such a thing. A lot of people love that stuff. And yeah, I think that there's actually Badge Fed. I don't know if you know Badge Fed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like there's the badges plus another thing I noticed is like the longer you've been doing it, you get even a special badge for that. So let's say you've been supporting a person for a year or 2 years, you get like additional special stuff.
Yep.
So I want to like integrate that kind of stuff. Like it wouldn't maybe issue kids, please go downstairs. It wouldn't issue necessarily the badge itself. It might like work with other software.
Yeah.
But there'd be integration to like kind of support like okay, maybe you're like what we had in mind like initially for this is like so sysops, it's developers and it's creators, right? And I'll say the reason creators, like for me, for me the Fediverse is for everyone, right? And
yes, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, everyone includes regular people, so not just us, right? Not just kind of like the more tech savvy people. And like if you look at like what regular people want, I am so sorry. If you look at
this is great.
Yeah, if you look at what,
who knew that you were a regular human being with a regular human being family? This kind of stuff that I love. This is why I like to do these conversations like this and not in a sterilized environment. You are a human being. Things happen. Man. Don't worry about it at all. Yeah. I'm just glad mine haven't walked down like literally right before you got on. Mine came down as like, can I have the sleepy time music on your phone? And I was like, here, just go.
Yeah. Yeah. Crap. Oh yeah, regular people. Okay. So regular people, they tend to be interested in different things. Like I have certain interests, but like a lot of them, they want to be entertained, right?
Yeah.
And like a lot of times it's by like influencers, other famous people. So if you want to track them here, by the way, I have some friends and I know some other people who were managers and talent agents for like a lot of these kind of like produce like these like influencer stuff like that. So this is where I kind of got the information from. But a lot of them they make a living off this, right? So if they want to get them here, then you need to allow them to make a living off this, right?
You have to monetize it, right? It's important. That's their livelihood. They can't just walk away from that.
Exactly. So I mean, part of it is giving them the tools for that, right? And that's
Yes.
one of the goals of CrowdBucks. It's like, okay, we want to get this person over here to poster, and they need to make a living off this, right? Because this is what they pay the rent for, right? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, some of the really successful ones are making a lot, right? Like think like, you know, yeah, like they might make like I can't remember. I have to look it up. But it was either like I think $500,000 a month or something.
And this is one of the things that I think too is that like at Fedi Forum we had the conversation of a lot of people are against advertisements, and one of the things, you know, that I'm saying about the Fediverse is we're going to have it. It's not going to look like what you expect it though. The way that I look at this is, especially something like this, is pick just for ease of because I'm American, I'm in a fantasy football league. Like I'm a Steelers fan. Instead of, you know, I'll have a Steelers jersey, but now I can buy a Steelers badge on the Fediverse thing. People love supporting their groups, their teams, their people, and they want ways to reflect that.
Yeah.
Even if it is digital.
I think it's what you're thinking, but I think people will say I don't like ads, but I think what they don't like is intrusive ads, right?
Yes.
So for example, 100%. Like, okay, I'm a fan of Furry Labs, who makes a Linux phone. I like Raspberry Pis, right? I want to hear about those. I follow their accounts.
Yes.
Those are advertisements when they talk about it.
Yes. Right?
Yes. But like this random thing for, I don't know, like this random watch that I don't care about, or, you know, car, or I don't know, like fanny bag, or like whatever they're selling that I don't care about, right? You're having a conversation with your friend about their cat, and then all of a sudden in your feed pops up, here's the best cat food to have right now. And it's like, what? No, that's not, I don't want that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's this, like, I don't actually mind ads as long as it's something I care about. Right. And that's the big thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that, so a lot of these large content creators, like, so this is roughly how it works, right? So let's say you're someone who makes a living off this. You probably have a manager and talent agent. Your talent agents will go get you advertisements, so sponsorships basically. Right. And it's usually like what the sponsors want, like, for example, like maybe they make a video game, they go to a video game like YouTuber or Peertube, hopefully Peertube in the future. Yes. And just keep on talking. They it say, sounds okay, like she's having a lot of fun. Yeah. Kids, please go downstairs. Shit, I lost my. Okay. The sponsorships. Yeah, sponsorship. So like they'll like a video game company might come to them and say, hey, I want to get like 1 million impressions for the month, right? So they often will sell it based on impressions, right? Because you can sell it based on impressions, you can sell it based on clicks, you can sell it based on acquisitions, might be buying something. So say I want 1 million impressions. That YouTuber maybe gets like 800,000 in a month, and then the talent agent will like use them, plus maybe they'll have to go to like their friends or talents, like, hey, like I need to like get like another 200,000 for like this month, right? Is there anyone like I can like you know, that you're managing that I can get it with, right? So I mean that's like what I understand, like how they kind of go through this usually. And but this is where I think something like the Fediverse has, and it doesn't have to be the current, you know, Activity Pub, because there's been a lot of discussion around AT Proto, Activity Pub, something else, whatever. But open platforms in general, you now have ways to innovate where you can't on X, or where you can't on Facebook, and things we can't even imagine today in 10 years will become commonplace. Yeah, I think like one way you can think of it is like the Fediverse, and like Blue Sky or App Protocol too, like they're platforms, right? They're open. Yes. Like Twitter for a while was a platform until they pulled the plug. Yeah. Right. And I think that was like back in 2011 or 2012. Right. There was like a really healthy developer ecosystem building on Twitter, because Twitter was the new pipes, right? Yep. And then they decided like, no, and we're going to restrict people. And by the way, Hootsuite was one of the exceptions they made. Like we were one of the few that they actually allowed to continue. But to me, it was very, very unfortunate. I think Twitter could have been like very, very different if they would have left an open platform. Well, that's, I think it didn't. Yeah. Jack Dorsey said originally the idea was an entire open ecosystem that they were building. And then they realized, no, we have to close it down for advertisement money or something like that. And
Ah,
Yeah. Sorry.
you're fine. That caught me off guard.
I had it muted, and then I was gonna unmute and
It's
chime in with
perfect
something.
time. Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. No, but this is, so what is, again, what is the overall vision is that, it's integrated into whatever platform you choose, whether it's Mastodon, Mistkey, Peertube, and then someone can just, send money through my CrowdBucks page, Fireside Fedi at firesidefedi.live or something like that, which then goes through a standard payment processor like Stripe or something.
Yeah. So I mean, if you go to my Mastodon account right now, like Mastodon social / at Reiver, it's one of the links on there, right? So I'm
Right.
there's many there's one instance now, but there can be many instances. So CrowdBucks.fund is our flagship instance, and if you go CrowdBucks.fund / at Reiver at Mastodon social, so it's my Mastodon account. Then you could for example send me funds there, right? Like you can send me a donation, and it'll go into the nonprofit I have set up. So I mean that's the way it currently works, right? So you go there, you would stick in your credit cards and have it work. We have a lot more stuff plans, like other ways that it can get paid. But right now it's just based on credit card using Stripe.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about with
Yeah, I mean, like I guess yeah, I mean, I guess like I said, it's part of the long-term vision. The long-term vision is that payments natively. There's a whole lot of technical and also legal things you have to worry about when, like, say for example, I want to send money to you. There's a whole bunch of compliance stuff you have to deal with. That you can deal with. It. It's just my thing is like I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's a way we could do this that doesn't cost people tons of money, right? Like for example, if I got to deal with a bank, right, I might have to pay like, okay, there's minimum payments of $20,000, $50,000 per month. That's not going to work on the Fediverse.
No.
Right? So, yeah.
I mean, maybe for some people, but no.
Yeah. So I mean, like part of the things I'm Lisa, please. The part of the things I'm trying to deal with is that I'm trying to figure out ways to do it, and like I know the ways, like some of the ways. Like I'm trying to come up with ways or choose ways that don't cost people that kind of money, right? And that's why, for example, like Interledger is interesting and Taylor is interesting. There are other technologies I won't name them because people get upset on the Fediverse if you name them, but I'm trying to make the world a little better. So I mean, stuff like Interledger and Taylor, I think, are probably like good choices for this.
Yeah, I'm really I've kind of investigated Taylor. I'm not 100% sure how it connects in. It sounds more like a bank to bank transfer thing, but I know it's still in very early stages. Like I think there's one bank in Sweden. Is it Switzerland?
Yeah, well, Interledger is kind of like that too.
Okay. But again,
I think I found Chrissy's last name. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to pronounce this. So it's Kachi Sabishi.
I'm not even gonna try to look that up because I have no idea how to spell that.
Yeah.
But
Kuchi Sabishi. Sorry.
But I think a lot of, again, it comes back to the current state of America and our place in the world, where a lot of these countries, and I mean, you're in Canada, so maybe you know better than I do because I'm American, but it seems like a lot of these countries are understanding that they need to kind of either build their own stuff or find ways to all come together to build an open system or an open platform. And that gives me a lot of hope that maybe we're at the right place at the right time for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear, I think one of the phrases people use for this lately has been digital sovereignty.
Digital sovereignty. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's older ideas. Like some people will talk about like self-sovereignty, but it always comes back to something like, do you have in like a practical sense, like control over yourself or like whatever it is, like your internet, your identity, your funds.
Yep.
There's different ways you go about solving this, but like I think giving people options is a good idea. Like having any options is good. And
I think NLNet is doing a great job with helping fund the early days of this stuff. And I think that once, you get to a certain critical mass, like you said, the average person is not going to care to run their own. But if you have a Canadian backed one or whatever, and you trust your company to host your stuff, and you can always move, then eventually, you know, the big companies will see, again, like let's say a sports team. Someone said FIFA earlier. Manchester United. I think that's a FIFA team. Like, they get on and they fund their own and like, hey, come be a Manchester United fan on our server or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of my thought. That's where I see going. But again, because of the nature of the Fediverse and the way it is, being able to, and I think it was Ben Pate that talked about it. It's like, we had this idea that the internet was going to lift up indie creators. Now you can pay them directly. And it's gone completely the opposite way, where everyone is on the other end of a man in the middle that's just nickel and diming them everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you think like back to the early web, there was, I mean, people see the web, it exists, but there was a social movement around it, right? Like, for those who aren't old enough, I mean, if you say you wanted to have an audience, right? Like, you wanted to write and have people read you. It was, I don't know if you can hear the giggling. It was just like impossible, right? Like, you needed to go through the TVs or the newspapers, and it was super expensive. And then the web came, and then anyone could have an audience. And like, it tore down that middleman, it tore down the gatekeepers, right?
Yep.
And we've kind of gone back to gatekeepers a bit, but I mean, I think it takes effort of individuals who understand it to like remove the gatekeepers again, to make things a little less. Sorry.
It's a standard. It's a classical thing of cycles, right? You know, computers were big hulking things, and then we moved to standard machines, and then, you know, we're moving to the cloud, these centralized systems again. And this whole thing works like that. And I think that, you know, eventually it will swing back the other way, back from these gatekeepers. It's impossible that it can't. Again, Facebook can't, like, people around the world don't want to live just by Facebook's rules, right? Like, it's impossible for them to meet everyone's needs and everyone's demands, let alone countries that have very stringent laws, wholly different to the United States. You know, we face that today, but I don't see how it can last forever. At least not in its current form. It will evolve and change, but
yeah, I think, I mean, okay. For me, I mean, people say decentralization, but I think it's more than just decentralization. It's decentralization plus federation plus localization, and
yes,
localization, not in like the, you know, international where you want to add a different language. Like, localization, I mean local control, right?
Yes, right.
But one of the reasons that decentralization is, I think, valuable is that it allows you an escape, right?
Yes,
like, if you're somewhere and things aren't good, you have a way of escaping. And like, you have a, like, hopefully the idea is like, you don't just you escape. Like, I can escape, I can bring maybe my content, I can bring my followers and the people I follow, right? Like, my experience here, I can have that just somewhere else, like, where like things are a little better. And I think like giving people that option is important. It's like, there's I don't know if you want to get into this. Like, I'm interested in human behaviors, but if you look at humans, like one thing, like, say, anthropologists have like thought about humans is like, what's human nature, right? Because we understand chimpanzee nature, or we think we do. We think we understand gorilla nature, right? But what's human nature like? On one hand, we seem very egalitarian, but we also seem very despotic, right? Authoritarian. And it seems that you know, like, we have variation, like those are all part of human nature. Yes. But the thing that keeps you in a despotic type society is the inability to escape.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can't, like, think like, for example, like hunter gatherers, right, or like nomadic people, like, they can just go somewhere else. Like, if someone tries to, like, you know, control them, you know, treat them poorly, take their stuff, right, they can just go somewhere
if you
else,
have
right?
an easy exit, you can get out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But if, say, you're a farmer and you tied the land, nope.
Yeah.
Can't leave. Right. And it's very easy to abuse that, right?
It's not even an escape in like an abusive relationship, in my opinion. It's also all of our lives are constantly changing. You are moving from one chapter of your life to the next chapter. Let's take
Yeah.
just regular grade school, right? You're in elementary school. You move from the first grade to the second grade to the third grade to the fourth grade. Those types of evolutions, you should be able to take your digital you with you and not have to continually remake it. And this, with this, or at least the beginnings of this, has the potential, the opportunity, and again, I think we might be at the right place at the right time to finally be able to do that.
Yeah, I like Mastodon added a move protocol to ActivityPub that was nice. Like it allowed you to kind of like bring most of your followers. I mean, like, it doesn't work perfectly, just because networks don't work perfectly.
Difficult stuff.
Yeah, but the thing I also want is my content, right? I don't leave my content behind. I like my content.
Yeah.
I can think of ways of doing it, but like, I mean, there was a term that like someone I think coined over at Fosden, like over in Belgium, but Brussels, the mastodon in the room. It's the play on like the elephant in the room, the mastodon in the room, because mastodon has an overwhelming influence. So
yes,
like Mastodon adding that move protocol made it so other people implemented it too, right? Because they have such an overwhelming influence.
Yeah.
And I think if they added a way to move content, and I can think of different ways of doing it, but like if they pick one, I think that would be useful, because they all of a sudden would enable like something else. Because coming up with the protocol isn't the hard part. Like getting adoption.
That's the hard part. Right? Yeah. No, and I know that a lot of people are very concerned of Mastodon's influence, but again, for normal people, you have to have that flagship. You have to have people. No one's going to understand the Fediverse. No one's going to understand ActivityPub. Like they barely understand email, but they understand TikTok. They understand Twitter. They don't need to understand the underlying things, right? That is both a blessing and a curse, because we are not any of that. We are more while also being less and different. So it's really interesting. It's an interesting time. I'm loving all the innovation and talking to all the people, but what is the best way folks can support you in your work, or are you not, like you don't have NLNet grants or any other?
No, I am planning to apply. Like, so I don't work by myself. There's some different people I work with. I'm just, do you mind if I name them?
No, go ahead. Absolutely.
Okay. So I'll name them. So one of them is named Masood Safi. Like I said, he's on the Fediverse. He posts photos every now and then, but he doesn't really like join conversations. It's usually me. And then there's some other people I work with. There's I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name. There's Mason, who we used to work together before, but he's like an engineer like me and Masood. I also do Sprott. There's also Narrowman. He's more front end, where Mason's back end. There's Farzaneh, which is graphic design, Sepide, which is QA, and Shirin, which is actually Masood's niece. So there's like a handful of us that kind of build this stuff, like including CrowdBucks. So I'm going to set up CrowdBucks to fund CrowdBucks. I'm going to make it so people can donate to that. We have a nonprofit that the funds would go into. Yeah.
So you're going to be a construction worker.
So you can't see this, but they're in the closet. They're playing hide and go seek. I think I'm supposed to go find them, and they're just banging on. They're banging on the closet. The door's metal. They're banging on the closet to get my attention, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
That's adorable. I love. How can I ask how old? You don't have to say if you don't want.
No, I don't mind talking about it. Like I bring them to conferences. Like there's a lot of people.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah. Like I'll tell you a story. So Julian Lamb, I think his last name. He was giving a talk, and we had 3 different locations for like the social web track at Boston, right? And it was in this hackerspace that was nowhere near the regular conference. And I got there a little late. You know, my wife and kids wanted to come to it too. And I opened the door, and I have this stroller with 2 kids in it. And I look at it, and there's this crowd. I don't know, it was like 100 people. Like, oh my god! Like I gotta push the stroller through this. So I pushed my stroller through everyone. Julian's giving his talk, and all of a sudden my kids start crying. They're hungry. I'm like, oh shit! Do I have to go through this again? There was a back door I was able to exit out of and like feed the kids, because like they're about to start screaming. They're like, like, I mean,
See, and
yeah,
that's immediately where you know where someone has kids, because they're like, oh, I've been there, and everyone else that doesn't have kids like, get the fuck out, like shut up. I'm
yeah.
trying to.
Yeah, so I mean, I exited out of the back. Like, I mean, I you know, like, I don't think Julian has kids. So I was like, you know, sorry, Julian, but like, it's worse if I stay. Like, they're gonna start screaming.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so my oldest, my son, he is 4. He turned 4 just a while ago.
Oh,
Yeah, and then my daughter is 2. She had her birthday party, but she's turning 3 this month. So they're quite young still, and very very cute. Like at
yes,
that age, a lot
yes.
of fun when they're
They
not.
they have to
Sorry.
be cute, because if they weren't cute, you'd want to smother them.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably like
Yeah.
how it evolved. Like I've like I said, like
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
yeah, back in the Twitter days, like I didn't just post normally. Like, I was in part of science Twitter, so I focused on human behavior and paleogenetics. Paleogenetics is studying like ancient DNA that comes from fossils and trying to infer
Yeah.
history that we don't have like written records for, right? Which is very interesting, by the way.
Oh
But
yeah.
human behavior is like something I had a lot of passion for. So I mean, like, you come up with this idea, like you know, like, why are kids so cute, right? Like, because like, you know,
Yeah.
it's partly that, like, for you to parent them, right? Because it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ones that are cuter, like,
Or it's not even why are they so cute, but why have we evolved to look at that and think that that is what cuteness is,
yeah. Yeah,
right?
it's like, it's probably like a feedback loop. Like, we have, because the thing that's interesting about this is that your genes, like, are partly in your own kids,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like this thing where they can be like kind of competition with the genes. It's the same thing that
Yeah.
happens like ant colonies, right? Like, so the same genes exist. Like, you kind of share the genes, right? So this gene
Hmm.
has to act in the way of a parent, but it also has to act in the way of a child, right? And so there's going to be certain detectors that we, you know, consider cute, and then, you know, kids are going to kind of evolve towards that, and it's very interesting. I mean, I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
if you want to talk about all that, but I mean, like, I like, one of my passions is actually human behavior. I never post about it. I will probably, like, once I get Retijo like far enough along, I just post on my site, on my static site, like the stuff for that.
Okay.
But like one of my big passions, like, you know, the funny thing is, like, on Twitter, like, when I was doing that, nobody realized I had like a computer science or like math background. They thought I was like an evolutionary biologist, just
Yeah.
because I would talk about like human behavior and biology all the time. But it was like what I studied. I studied it for 15 years after I graduated, and I would go to the conferences. I knew a lot of the people, like, in the field, right? Like, I met them, I talked to them, I would talk to them online.
Yeah.
There's also like, there's one guy, like, I don't use my Twitter account yet much, but I do have an existing, and partly it's because there's people that haven't come over. But there's one guy, Richard, who's on. I won't say his last name because I don't know if he wants me to, but he was very very kind to me, and like, he's got a PhD in this stuff, and I would, like, he'd see me posting about stuff or like reading something, and he would explain stuff to me, and he would send me references
See,
and
that's
stuff to read.
awesome.
Yeah, he was. That's one of the
That's
things I love. Yeah, that was early Twitter, right? But that was one of the things I
well,
loved about social media.
that was
Yeah,
the early internet too,
yep.
right
Or like, for
before.
example, oh, sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, before it was all corporatization and all of that. Like, it was just forums of like-minded people getting together, helping each other,
Yeah,
talking about just random
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And they didn't care. They didn't care what your background was. You just talk about whatever. There was no stay in your lane BS and whatnot. But
yeah, yeah. That's a retarded thing. Like, I've heard people say. But there was another significant one, at least for me. I was trying to understand how the human brain works, right? So I was like, trying to read up on neuroscience, and there was a neuroscientist. I think he's in England now, but he was from Australia, right? And I was trying to understand the visual cortex, right? So it's, you know, your eyes projects to the back, because the visual cortex is
yes,
generally at the back of your head. And he said, read this book, right? And it was a thick book, right? And I didn't read all of it, but I read a lot of it, and it talked about like how it actually like works. It's their current understanding, and and then, like, I noticed like his research is super interesting. Like, he was looking at like so there's parts of your brain where it kind of maps out a map of the world, and there's 3 different types of cells at play. First they knew about 2 of them, they found a third, and it's super interesting, like how this stuff works. So I mean, like, that was like, you know, outside the Fediverse. I mean, that's one of my big passions, right? Like, human behavior, and like how it evolves, and like how it works, even from an algorithmic point of view, if you want to think of it that way, like in your biology. But yeah,
that's too much for me. But all right. On that note, Now for the real reason I asked Charles here is to give him the opportunity to win a prize of a lifetime.
Oh God. Okay.
Since you're working on Spacehost and GreatApe, our prize today is a contract for GreatApe and Spacehost to work on any of your projects. Do you know GreatApe and Spacehost? I would assume you would.
I know Space Ghost, if you're saying that correctly.
Space Ghost, yeah.
Yeah,
Space,
and I've heard that joke. Like someone said to like
someone said
and I, yeah, like you guys have to create a podcast and call it Space Host Coast to Coast.
Yes,
Just like,
yes.
just
I
like,
love that show.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you probably like me, like watched Hanna-Barbera as a kid.
Yep.
And then that Space Ghost Coast to Coast thing came out. I was like,
Yep.
This is awesome.
And great. Do you remember GreatApe? Or sorry, Grape Ape. It was a gigantic purple ape.
So,
Grape Ape.
Yeah. So it wasn't named after that, but yeah, I do remember it big.
Okay.
It was big and purple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our prize today is a contract to get them to come work on your projects for you. So it's totally awesome. Real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought about some junior software devs to help you, but junior software devs don't exist anymore, right? AI is just perfectly coding all of that work for them. So you don't need that. No. Are you ready for the quiz, Charles?
Ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
All right. Favorite movie and why is it Spaceballs?
Actually, I do like Spaceballs quite a bit. So, so Spaceball is awesome, and part of the reason I'll say it. So my dad passed away quite a while ago, but Spaceballs, this was a while ago. But thank you. It was a movie that my dad and I used to watch together. It was also quite funny. I mean, like I grew up. I mean, it's gonna age me. Like I was born in the 70s, right? So I kind of grew up with all the kind of space sci-fi.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, Spaceballs kind of fit into that, even though it came much later, right? But it was a play on kind of like all the space sci-fi. Like people, I think nowadays probably remember like Star Wars, obviously, because it's kind of gone to town with it. There's also Star Trek, but I mean, there was other stuff like there was like a Battlestar Galactica. There was what was the Moon 1999? There was something about the moon escaping, and then there was like Buck Rogers, and there was like all these other space ones. I have to think about it a bit, and I'll remember all these things I kind of forgot about from that era. But yeah, so I mean, like I liked it because it was something I did with my dad, and it was something also it fit into like the whole space sci-fi thing, which I was really into.
Okay. If you like Spaceballs, the new Naked Gun.
There's a new Naked Gun?
There's there's a new Naked Gun with what's his name?
Is it the original actor?
No. Leslie Nielsen passed away. The guy that played Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh,
Liam Neeson. Yeah. And I was laughing my ass off. Highly check it. If you like Spaceballs sense of humor, the new Naked Gun is just, I thought it was hilarious, but
yeah, I'll go check it out.
All right. Okay. Question number 2, Kite Man, Condiment King, or Bat Zorro?
Bat Zorro, probably.
Okay. Why Bat Zorro? So for those that don't know, these are all, and yes, Condiment King is literally, these are all Batman villains.
Yeah. I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. So just to put the reference, so in my name on my Mastodon social account, right, I have a Batman. If you go to my other accounts, I have a different symbol, just so I noticed that I'm on a different account. So I when I was a kid, I was exposed to certain superheroes, right? So Batman was one of them. I like Batman. I also had someone, it was actually Sal who said this once. He goes, "You're 90% Batman, 10% comic book man from Simpsons." Like the big kind of fat guy.
I don't know that one. Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But I mean, like really it was because like I like Batman. I liked him since I was a kid, right? So I kind of just put it there.
Yeah, I looked this up earlier. Yes, Bat Zorro is the Batman from Bizarro World, but because he's the exact opposite, he grew up with parents, so he had to go find someone else's parents to kill. I don't know. That's all I read about it. I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Next question. Stop or go?
Go, because I like programming in the Go programming language.
That's why I figured. All right. That was an easy one. Okay. Next question. What does an alternate universe Charles do?
Oh, as an alternate universe Charles. Um, he maybe is a farmer. Maybe.
He's a farmer. It doesn't surprise me anymore how many software developers or IT people are like, I just want to go work on a field.
Yeah, I saw someone post something like that recently, and I was looking at that and I was like, I agree totally. Like, I would actually like to move from where I am, get chickens, plants, potatoes, and tomatoes, and other stuff. And
and
I think it's too like.
I don't think it's because any of us think it's easy. Like it's hard work, but it's tangible.
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's also a kind of freedom, right?
Yeah.
So I've taken a lot of risks in my life, like just business wise, like creating companies, and like, for example, like I create a company, I might not have an income for like 14 months, a year and a half, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I do take risks, and there's times when it's really hard, right? There's times when I'm thinking like, man, I hope I get some money this month because I'm gonna not have money for food or stuff like that. And just experiencing that at times is like, okay, well, if I had a farm, I had some chickens, and I had like some potatoes and other stuff, like at least I wouldn't have to worry about food, right?
Yeah. Eggs constantly.
Yeah. I have a cousin, like, he's retired now, but so he lives in Texas. And by the way, land is, compared to Canada, like, land's so cheap. Like it's I've considered moving. Like, I actually lived there a couple times when I was younger, but I considered moving there at one point. But he's got chickens on his property, right? He's got a chicken coop. I think there's like 3 chickens. They lay eggs, so it's like this looks pretty good. Like, I kind of want this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I reached out to an alternate universe Charles. I have an alternate universe phone here. It changes shape and size. Don't ask how it works. It's very technical. It's easy for me because I know how it works, but
yeah.
So I reached out to the alternate universe Charles, and he's also a software developer. Except he's working on an application called Buck Crowds. It's a social media app for male deer that help them form herds. The hard bit, he said, is he's having an issue because deer can't read, let alone use a computer in that dimension either, or universe, I should say. But he's still working on it. So good luck to that alternate universe, Charles, and his Buck Crowds.
I agree. I when I first heard Buck Crowds, something else popped in my head. So let's not say it. Let's say it was 18 plus.
Yeah. I could have gone. I didn't even think about that. I guess I just have a stupid, silly sense of humor. I mean, sometimes I have a dirty sense of humor, but not when it comes to this. I don't know why. All right.
Yeah.
Next question. Black, yellow, blue, or white?
Black, yellow, blue.
So blue?
Yeah, they sound like Batman colors, but let's go with blue.
Black. So I pulled this directly from your Mastodon. So you had Batman, black and yellow, and then you had a blue with a white star in it.
Right. Okay. So that star has been my avatar for a long time. I think since like 2007 or something like that, or maybe before.
Okay.
I'll tell you the backstory of that.
Yeah.
So, like, long time ago, like, think like Facebook. So this, like, Facebook, I started using when it was university only, right? So you went to university, you connected with other people at university, right? And then eventually changed to like a general social network. And eventually they got games on there. And there's this one icon that always caught my eye, right? So it wasn't the same as my icon, but it had like a white star and like a background. And it always caught, like, I ignored all the other like notifications they sent me, except that thing always caught my eye. So when I joined Twitter, I thought about, do I want to put my like photo in here? Like, I don't want to really do that. Like, I didn't do that anywhere else except for Facebook. So I created like this avatar that was like the blue background with a white star on it. Apparently that's a flag also. Like, I didn't know that, but
oh, I didn't know it.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in like East Africa or something. Like, apparently, or it's very similar. It's very similar to that. I didn't know that, but like for me, that's been my my representation, my icon since I think 2007 or something.
Oh,
or maybe before. Yeah.
So your
I've been using it
your icon is officially an adult.
Yeah, yeah. I've been using it for a very long time. Like even Reiver, I've been using for a while. I had different handles over the years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I used to go by TNT. Like back when like you could like it came from video games, right? Like I would get high score in a video game, TNT. Right. Then when I joined the internet,
Yeah,
I would use TNT. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I used to use my initials. Then I thought like, oh, let me use something else clever. And then I was like, TNT fits in here, so TNT. So that used to be my handle online. I also had like one of them was just because I couldn't get TNT, I picked Alien Soldier, which it was very unique but very weird.
Yeah. Very edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
mean,
I think like everyone goes through that when you're a teenager fresh on the internet, you find something that's like edgy and cool sounding.
yeah, it's like it's stuff like you think sounds good, and then you hit 30 and say,
Yeah.
this is retarded, and I still have this. I was like, I
Yeah,
gotta get something
ridiculous.
else.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
As usual, the last question will be sent to you telepathically. I'll send you the question. Take your time thinking about it. It's usually very difficult. And then let me know when you have the answer. All right. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Here it comes. Okay. There's the telepathic question. There was a lot of telepathic noise in that room. I think it's the young minds that are just learning and growing, but hopefully you got it without too much telepathic static. Take your time. Let me know when you have the answer.
I have the answer now.
All right, go ahead. What's the answer to that very intriguing question?
42.
Oh, it's always 42, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why 42?
It's a reference to a movie that some people have seen. It's not well known, but
It's not no yeah. Because it's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. It's the answer to the ultimate question, right?
yeah. Well, you have to figure out the question. That's the key.
That's the hard one, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations. You got every answer either correct or incorrect. Good job.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, my community pointed out to me that even given enough time and enough monkeys, they could write Shakespeare. Apparently, that doesn't translate to one giant purple monkey that just screams GreatApe all the time. And Space Ghost is just a ghost and some space, so he's non-corporeal. So neither of them can write Golang.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I apologize. So neither of them are going to be any help to you, but I will make sure to punish my entire community for appropriately pointing out that logic, facts, and reason have no place in 2025. So there we go. That's another episode of Fireside Fedi. Charles, thank you so much for joining me. This has been amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Sorry about the kids screaming.
No, that was great. It had so much more to it as well. And thank you to everyone out there on the Fediverse. You guys are what makes this interesting and unique. And without real people here to talk and to share your interests and likes and difficulties and just share life, it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be the same. So thank you all for being here. Please make sure to like, subscribe, all that, not because I have an algorithm to appease, but because that's how it spreads throughout the Fediverse by interacting. That's how pretty much all of it works. And if you want, we have BT Free, a nonprofit set up in order to accept donations. Still working on 501c3, which is tax deductible or whatever in the United States. Haven't gotten that done yet, but we'll catch you on the next episode of Fireside Fedi. Thank you all for now. Have a good one. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.